welcome. It's going to be a practice session today for myself. I figured I would just video me trying to get back into opera singing. I just recorded my power source filter video yesterday, and it made me realize, first off, I'm super out of shape. Second off, you know what? Like, not a lot of people, maybe because it's the internet and there's this whole vanity thing, but not a lot of people bother to show you what it kind of looks like when they're actually applying things themselves, like, you know, in a very not glamorous way. So here's in the goal of this blog is to be super helpful, not for me to look amazing. So, I mean, it's hard for me not to. Just kidding. But yeah, so I am really out of shape, classically speaking. I haven't really, like, practiced and actually really, other than, like, jokingly, really honestly sang classical style for, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It might be 2 years. It's been a long time, you guys, for me. So here's what I'm going to do. I've set a little goal for myself, which is something I like to do now, especially since I'm not really in the singing world and I'm not really in super good shape. And I just want to get back to vocal ease with some semblance of classical technique. That's all I'm looking to do today. So that's essentially my goal, is to be like, how do you get that classical sound with some kind of ease? I think I vaguely remember it being a thing. So, all right. So that's my goal today. So I'm not worrying about diction or musicality or making sure rhythms are really crisp. I'm not paying attention to any of that right now. I'm taking that all off the table for myself and just focusing on technique, essentially. But I do have some bad muscle memory for muscle tension dysphonia in my singing. So I need to stay as playful as I can. And I'm going to use some of the knowledge I have to sort of, you know, figure out how to get back to that easy production spot for me. So I'm trying to just rediscover a muscle memory that I've already developed before. So it probably won't take me as long as it took me the first time actually just finding it at all. But luckily for you, that means a little shorter video. Huh, yay. So what I'm going to do is essentially be talking out loud to you guys, letting you into if I'm changing out what I'm doing, reasons I'm picking certain things to do for myself, just things that work for me, things that don't work for me. That's pretty much it. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get my ribcage in order, because my respiratory system, my power source, is super out of shape. And I've decided it's probably only going to be a really short 10-15 minute session today, practice. I honestly don't know if I'm going to get to 15 minutes with some sort of ease. If I do, I'll be quite surprised with myself. I'll be like, wow, look at me go, look at me remembering things. So I picked Zeffiretti Lusinghieri from Mozart's Idomeneo. I am probably not going to do the words today. I'm probably just going to do vowels and consonants and random, like, speech sounds, essentially. I picked this because 2 years ago I was singing this with the hopes of getting up a recital at some point, and it never actually formulated. So, and I did actually have some voice lessons on this, not really coachings, but I did have some lessons, and I remember attaining some level of vocal ease with this aria. And also it has that one, like, fairly early on, just wicked hard, long phrase. And I don't think I'm going to get through that phrase today. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to play around and see if I can. See what I can do with it, you know? So it's going to give you a nice glimpse into rediscovering something that I kind of vaguely remember. So I picked a piece that doesn't have bad muscle memory because I'm out of shape. So I'm going to pick a piece that I intentionally picked a piece that I remember having vocal ease on so that I can try to rediscover it rather than hauling out something that's really old back from my super muscle tension dysphonia days and like trying to slog through, because that's just not something I want to do right now. I'm probably not really in a good place for that. I'm too out of shape for it, and if I tried, it would be too frustrating. So I want to take frustration out of my practice as much as I can, because I have a lot of emotional, like, kind of baggage, essentially, related to classical singing due to sucking it, essentially, for a very long time. So I have that baggage of, like, constantly judging myself and constantly beating myself up during practice sessions, and I'm trying to take that out of the equation as much as I can, right? So, which is good for everybody, but, you know. So that's why I picked this aria. It'll also give you a little glimpse into what a few little things I might try when I'm working on a really hard phrase. Who knows? Also, other caveat, I don't have a keyboard or a piano of any kind anymore. When we moved last, I gave away my keyboard. So I'm just, if you see me kind of coming back to the computer and dinking around here, I'm actually getting into the app where I can give myself pitches. You know, and I might wander off key, but that's okay too. I'm not going to worry about that too much today. Seriously, it's all about vocal ease today. Can I find classical coordination with vocal ease? That's my whole goal. End of the story. That's it. That's what I'm going to focus on. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on that rib cage. So let me angle down a little bit, step back a touch, and I'll go ahead and raise up this shirt so that maybe you can see a little more. Oh, I angled it a little too low. All right, so rib cage. My rib cage is here, and my lower ribs are right here. I actually have a very short torso, if you notice. My hips are like pretty much like that close to my rib cage. So bottom of the rib cage, right down here. Typically for me, I like to feel expansion down here. I like to feel these muscles really working down here. And if I really get into good shape, I'll start to feel it in the back as well, kind of like right along the spine. I'll start to feel some good workout right there. So I'm not gonna voice yet. I'm just gonna breathe. So I'm gonna take a deep breath down here. I'm gonna keep on inhaling. And I'm gonna move my shoulders around and stuff just to make sure they're not getting too active. Keep myself really loose. Just keep the rib cage, keep my lungs really tanked up. And make sure that those muscles are really holding it back. I'm still staying at right now my lungs, I have a really high alveolar pressure in my lungs right now, even though I'm talking. And my shoulders just got a little tight. That's why I'm doing it for a while, because my shoulders are a little tight. I'm just trying to get that all worked out, okay? Okay. Now I want to get back into some control over my exhale. So I'm going to use the S exhale. I like doing this, but I like thinking about it being the smallest. I call it like the secret S. Like, I don't want anyone to hear it really. I just want it to be a tiny little like poke in a tire, you know? So, because it gives me better control over that. I want a really minimal S, but I want it to be consistent as much as I can. So let me try it. Here we go. Oh gosh, I'm way out of shape. I can usually go for longer, and I really couldn't keep the consistency, so I'm like, this is to try to keep it expanding, expanding, expanding. I'm trying to get those muscles to really work for me. This is because, like, I'm just getting a little tight every once in a while, so I just move the shoulders a little, kind of look like I'm ready to get ready to fight or something, but, all right. So I'll bring this down again now. So now that you know kind of where I'm talking. So let me do that again, because that didn't go super well. Woo! All right, here we go. Okay. That went better, and I'm not going to worry about going until I'm done out of air because I don't need to today, honestly. Just need to get decent control over it. You know, that's all I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of some F pulses now. This is mostly to make sure my ribcage can stay stable, but my abdominals are released enough to stay very flexible and to help me pulse air as needed for like staccati and stuff. So let's give that a shot. Here we go. So same inhale, big inhale into the ribcage, low ribcage. And then I'm just going to do a little okay, and from old times, what I read about that exercise is it's supposed to be, the Fs are supposed to be like you're flickering a candle, not like you're blowing it out. It's just if you have a candle flame in front of you, you're just going to flicker it every so lightly, so F pulses. So I was feeling for stability in my ribcage while still letting the pulses happen, and I wasn't really aware that much was happening with my abdominals, but it actually was, right? So there we go. Once I stabilize the ribcage, I get a little more pulse action down here because this is able to release a little more. Okay, if I pulse with the ribcage, it just is really hard to control, especially after you're done pulsing. It's like nearly impossible to go, it just leaves, right? So I don't want to pulse here. I want to pulse down here. So that I can just go straight into keeping the air minimal. All right, now I want to take that minimal airflow that I found, and I want to try to map it to singing, and I'm going to angle this up now. So I want to try to map it to voice use, right? So what I'm going to do, let me grab my little, there we go, piano thingy dingy. I'm actually just going to do some sirens, though, to start off, honestly. I don't want to get myself all in the head of like having to match pitch and sound good. As soon as I play the piano key, I think, I gotta sound good now, I'm singing. So I just want to start with some sirens or something. So I actually might do some lip buzzes. Once again, this is minimal airflow to keep the lips buzzing is what I'm going for. So it's a way for me to see that I can maintain that really consistent minimal airflow. It's not loud, it's not like that. It's not like spittle everywhere. It's very relaxed. It went up a little. It's like straw phonation, but I don't have a straw. I'm doing that ooh. There it was. This was getting a little tight, a little elevated. I had to really think down on the inhale with my throat just to kind of find that spot where it's a little more released. Okay. All right. I think I'm doing all right. Okay. I'm going to start with just this faux yo thing that I was doing. Yeah. Actually, maybe E flat. I'm not a very high voice, so I don't know. So I'm just going to go. Okay. Here we go. Faux-yo, faux-yo. Oh, no. Hey. Faux-yo, faux-yo, of a breathe and go kind of thing right here. I want to get everything set up on the inhale and just go instead of holding my breath. That's what I'm really going for with this. So, I stay loose. I move my body around a lot, you know. Nope. Okay. Nah, I got a little elevated in my throat. I felt it go up. Ooh, it's really buzzy right there. Wow. Gotta dance a little, you know? Just remind myself of my ribcage. It was starting to collapse. I need to remind myself that my voice needs to stay really up and kind of out of my head. I need that buzz to go this way because in my middle voice, it just collapses on me. Old habits. Colorators out there, you feel me, right? Middle voice. Woo! It'd be a hard thing. Okay. Here we go. So I'm just going to try that a little more as I come down into middle voice. Okay, so I'm trying to refine a little more because I was able to breathe and go a little bit. So now that I got that a little looser, I'm trying to refine just a little more, just to get a little more subtle control over things, essentially, without getting tight. Okay, I'm just going to try this just going, but... Okay. A little better. Think up. Up with the sound, up with the resonance, up with the buzz for me. So I don't get too weighty. Oh, like I don't want to get super weighty down there. Okay, all right. That's feeling pretty good. What am I gonna do next? I don't know. You know, honestly, just for sake of time, I'm gonna go straight into runs. I think I haven't done scales in a while, but 9 notes essentially is what I'm used to. So I'm gonna do maybe I'll try one on E first, just to get that closed vocal tract shape, or an oo, one of the two. I'm gonna play with vowels until I get something that feels easy, essentially. So, you, nope, few, that works. Few, I still need more E's. Few, little better. If I do this, it's thinking this. Few, need to come down on ah. I'm coming down too much. That's a little better. Where am I? There we go. Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling all right. Okay. I'm not going to do a ton more vocalizations because honestly, the more I do today, the more likely I'll just start to completely forget what I'm doing with my body. So I'm going to run out of time pretty fast for my muscles to get tired and fatigued and sick of trying to do something new that it hasn't, or at least new in the sense that it hasn't done it in 2 years. So let's just move on to aria business. What the heck? But I'm going to do it like a vocalize at first. I'm just going to play around with vowels. I'm trying maybe like that few thing maybe a little bit, maybe some lip buzzing. I'm just going to try out a few things. And what I'm doing is I'm checking in with this. Does it feel easy? I'm checking with my rib cage. Is it active? Is it really resisting that exhale? And can I feel like I can change vowels and consonants here? Is all the movement essentially for vowels and consonants really forward in my mouth so that this can stay tall and stable and this is really nice and easy and controlled. So I'm just going to be constantly checking in with my subsystems. I use the resonance this way, especially in middle voice, as a way for me to check in and see if this is easy. It's sort of my fallback for, does this feel easy? Am I getting too, you know, am I letting it kind of sink back and letting it kind of get Zeffiretti? That feels in my throat. That's way in my throat, right? I kind of exaggerated that. So I want to keep it light. Light as in, not the sound quality, but light as in easy, light airflow through the vocal folds and still maintaining that nice, tall pharyngeal space that I'm looking for classical. So, whoop, is that it? Yes, do. Whoop, nope. It's G sharp, you guys. E. Maybe I'll try an E. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Whoop, getting tight. I was a little out by the end, but okay, keeping that nice and tight in E, I could do it. All right, I'm going to try it on the foo-you business now that I do. It's my version of feeling just the vowels without having to think about the actual vowels I'm supposed to be singing. So I don't have to like tax my brain with, oh, it's A, E, A, E, U, E. I can do that some, but I don't want to do it a lot because it's a lot for me to think about. So when I'm really just trying to see what my rib cage is doing and I'm trying to check in with my laryngeal system and I just want to keep movement here at the front of my mouth, I'm just going to do like a foo-you kind of thing. It's just my deal. It works for me. I don't know. Use it, don't use it. Other people have plenty of other things. Ah is my nemesis, so I tend to not want to practice on ah very much because I could get really tight and really manipulative of my sound on an ah. So I tend to just not even bother. The closest I'll get is an intentional like schwa sound, like an just to get neutral. That's the closest I'll get to like an ah when I'm practicing, usually for stuff like this. So obviously you got to train an ah at some point, you got to work on it, but yeah, I want to make sure my technique's really lined up and coordination's really good before I start to fiddle with holding an ah for a long time, essentially. That's just me. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to do the foo-you stuff, right? So I said, so few, 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 few. I'm finding that easy space before I start the phrase. I'm going to find it a little bit. So it's kind of like an onset thing, but I'm finding where my ribcage can stay out and I've got the easy airflow. I'm not putting too much through right off the bat. So it really is an onset thing, I guess, but here we go. Few, 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 few. There's too much at the beginning. Not too bad. Okay. I kind of ran out at the end, right? A little bit. Just a little. Gotta eke it out. But hey, it's all right. I was pretty happy. It felt pretty easy. You know what? Because this is feeling easy, I did the E, I did the few-you. I'm going to try it with words. This might throw everything off. But I'm just going to give it a try. What the heck? I'm practicing in private. Who cares? Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Okay, so let me find the page again here. I'm skipping recitative completely because that's for you're nice and warmed up and easy. Then you work on that. All right, in my mind. All right. So it's Zeffiretti Lusinghieri. I'm just getting it back in my head. Okay. It's been a while since I worked on this, guys. All right, here we go. I'm looking for that ease, right? So let me do that onset thing again. I felt the ah go a little down on the, when I had to go down, the like I was a little heavy right there. And I think that's where I lost some air, essentially. I really couldn't get through because I got a little heavy. I started using a little too much air because I started squeezing a little here and I could feel it. And my tongue went back a little bit, which that's why ah is my nemesis, because in my middle voice I tend to over darken and I make it really heavy. And if you're doing something like this aria, if I'm singing something like this and I make it overly heavy, I'm never getting through the phrase. There's no way, because remember, I still have paresis. I still have air escaping through my vocal folds. I have more of a gap, more of a glottal gap than other people. It's not super severe, which is why I'm able to sing, but it's, you know, there's enough of a gap there that I still have air escaping, essentially. So getting through these phrases for me, I have to be impeccably easy in my throat. Because otherwise I'm just going to lose too much air if I try to cheat anything technique-wise. Other singers, if you have more complete glottal closure, you might be able to get away with more, but I can't. So I have to be super clean, super impeccable. So I'm gonna try that again. If you noticed, I was stopping and doing a lot of that's me just trying to get the air nice and steady, feeling like this is really stable, and I'm checking and making sure that none of that vowel change is interfering with the source and the power system. That's all I'm doing. I'm like, okay, filter can do its thing, and source and power can stay pretty steady. That's what I'm checking in on. Every time you hear me doing something like that, I'm trying to make sure I'm like retelling my brain, you can stay nice and steady. The air can be steady, we can do whatever vowel we want, but that's the coordination we want underneath it. We want the source and the respiratory system to stay with this coordination. This can do whatever it wants. That's just how I've started training since starting the Speech Language Pathology Masters, honestly, somewhere in there, or maybe after it. But I started training more that way because if I get super into like exactly what the vowel should be and what the vowel resonance should be, for me, that's too much. I get really tight and really tense and I lose that ease completely. So it's a way for me to kind of apply therapy techniques essentially to singing, which is making sure I have the ease, making sure I feel the resonance, I feel the buzz, you know. Usually I feel it here. Sometimes it goes even behind my ears a little, sometimes like kind of around here. I start to feel a little resonance depending on where I am in my voice. But I want to feel something kind of going up there. I don't want my voice to sound very loud in my head. I want it to sound very soft, honestly. Pretty distant, pretty thin, kind of, honestly. I'm going to do the you one more time. And then I might try the words one more time. And then honestly, I think I'm mostly done for today. I might try to just sing through it a little more just for funsies, but not for perfection. Just for funsies, because honestly, when I'm coming back in after a long break, I want to sing through something for the music and because I love it. So I like to finish my practice sessions that way. So actually, I might just go straight into that after this. I'm going to do the words and just do the ooey ooey as needed. That's what's going to happen now. So once again, not worried about my rhythms are not as crisp as they should be for Mozart. I know that. My dynamics are not as crisp as they should be for Mozart, and I know that too. And my diction probably isn't that great, and I also know that because I haven't coached this in a long time. But once again, this is really just about me enjoying singing, getting back into vocal ease, and feeling like I can just enjoy the music. And that's all I'm really worried about right now. It's not about professional polish for me at the moment. Okay? So, that's not what this practice session was about for me. All right. So here we go. And that just frees up my brain. That way I don't beat myself up over those things when I realize it's not quite right. I just move on. I don't have to beat myself up over it because it's not the practice session where I'm going to get really into that, you know? So, all right. Whew, gotta take a good breath. Zeffiretti Lusinghieri ran out of breath. And I think I skipped a beat, but whatever. Meh. I'm just going to keep going because that's for another day to fix. I'm going to get too, ooh, that's way too high. I'm going to get really too annoyed with myself if I keep pounding that phrase today because I'm just not in shape to do it. So I'm just going to move on by it, honestly. Right? Make sure I don't train something frustrating and or tense. Okay. Woo! So I just did the sorrow. Nope. There's a car horn. Too heavy. Nope. Zeffiretti Lusinghieri divolate al mio tesoro. I didn't phrase that as well as I want. I'm just going to focus on the music for a second. Hold on a sec, guys. Zeffiretti. Zeffiretti Lusinghieri divolate al mio tesoro e vidi che l'adoro. I'm just going to try to get through this section and then I'm done. Swear to God. Nope. My inhale was wrong. I did kind of a, and my throat got tight, so I'm going to re-inhale. Out of air, nope. So I could probably do more breath there. Like I could probably take a breath before. Oh, what? I'm totally wrong. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Wait, nope, sorry. There we go. Just because I'm out of shape. I'm not taking as big as a breath as I should, and I can feel it. My ribcage is not hanging in there with me throughout the whole thing. And my inhales are not as released as they really should be. So that's 35 minutes long. I think that's plenty of time now. I think I'm done for today for this aria. And I can tell I'm struggling a little more to maintain the ease because, like, especially at the end of phrases, I'm running out of breath, and that's making me a little tighter, and then I'm a little tighter on the next entrance, and then I'm a little, so it's kind of snowballing a little for me right now. So due to that, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to say dunzos for today because it's been 2 years, and I'm super out of shape, and there's no reason to push it through. I'm not prepping for any major gig or anything. I'm just doing this for myself. So I'm just going to call it a day. That's my practice, and maybe I'll pick it back up. If you guys like this video, I can definitely pick this back up later and do more of, maybe I'll do the warm-up and stuff on my own if you guys, unless you really like to see it. I could do more of it, but maybe, you know, tomorrow or possibly Monday, because it's the weekend. Might want to just, you know, go out and enjoy myself and not practice. So, because I'm not really a professional singer anymore, you guys. So I don't mind not singing every day, obviously. So, you know, and pick it back up and keep trying it and seeing if I can get back to where I could at least get through a whole section of the aria, like, in one go without a ton of tension. You know what I mean? All right, so let me know if you like this. Hopefully it's helpful for someone out there just to see kind of how I'm thinking about things. Like I said, I'm trying to rediscover something I already knew, so I know it's in there in my brain somewhere, so I'm trying to stay as loose and easy as I can so that I'm allowing my brain to remember and I'm allowing my motor system to learn, and I'm just